Nurses in Nigeria, should we be happy or not? Few months ago, the Nursing and Midwifery Council stopped the verification process for nurses and midwives that trained in Nigeria. If you don't know what the verification process is, the verification process is the process in which if you studied in a particular country, your governing body of that country is going to verify that you studied in this country and you are actually licensed to practice in this country. So if you're a nurse and you studied in Nigeria and you are going to Canada, or you are going to the USA, or you're going to the UK, your Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, it needs to attest to the fact that you actually studied in Nigeria and you are a licensed midwife. In countries like the UK, the verification process takes less than 24 hours. Yes, you heard me. The verification process takes less than 24 hours. Normally, the verification process in Nigeria takes about 6 to 12 weeks to come around. However, the government, in their bid to stop nurses from migrating or to reduce the amount of nurses that are migrating, decided to change the rules of the verification, meaning that only midwives or nurses who have spent 2 years post qualification will be able to do the verification. This means that if you are a midwife or you are a nurse and you needed to travel out of the country, you need to stay in your home country for at least 2 years. This means if you studied in nursing license, you have a BNSC, you would have to go to the university for 5 years. After 5 years, you will intern for about 1 year, because without the internship, you're not going to get your license. So you will intern for about 1 year, and then you would have to wait another 2 years to be able to travel abroad. Is this fair? No, it wasn't fair. So this caused an uproar, and nurses, midwives, took to protest, started complaining. It was a whole lot. In fact, news outlets started to carry it. The Nigerian nurses took the Nursing and Midwifery Council to court. Before the court proceedings and everything, the Nigerian government decided, or the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria decided, to stop or halt the verification process altogether. That means whether you have stayed 2 years post qualification or you just graduated from School of Midwifery or Nursing, you wouldn't be able to travel. Even the nurses that are staying abroad, for example, if you're in the UK and you want to go to the US or you want to go to Canada, you couldn't also access the verification process altogether. This was very terrible. We kept on calling on NAM, which is the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives. We started calling upon individual bodies, individual organizations to fight our cause. So Nigerian Nursing and Midwifery Council was taken to the court, and we went back and forth. This kept a lot of midwives and nurses dejected. Some were depressed because their examination were going to expire. A lot of people that spent so much money on this process were in despair. For a long while, going back and forth, the courts or the House of Rep, telling them to reinstate what has been done. It was a whole lot. After a whole lot of this, just last week, the Nursing and Midwifery Council has reinstated the verification. Now, should we be happy or not? Because information reaching me still states that midwives who have been qualified for less than 2 years cannot access the verification portal at all. Or only midwives who have spent over 2 years, after qualification can access the verification portal. Please, if you are watching this video and you've been qualified less than 2 years, could you please, attest to this, or, tell me if it is not, because I tried to log into the Nursing and Midwifery portal and I was able to access the verification process. And also, it states that you must get a letter of good standing from your HOD, from your HOD, from your nursing head. Basically, I think getting the letter from your nursing head was a little bit better compared to when they asked us to get letters from the doctors. And also, in this period of time, the doctors online have been so helpful because they were fighting for the cause. They were also they were also giving their own word to it, I would give them a plus for that, because usually nurses and doctors don't agree on anything. But with this, there was a little bit of solidarity, because they knew that if they could succeed on the nurses, they would transfer that to the doctors. So, do you think we should be happy about this new process, or do you think we should continue to fight the cause? Also, the Nursing and Midwifery Council has not stated the amount of time that this verification is going to take. So, does that mean that nurses and midwives who apply for verification would wait indefinitely, or will it be faster than it was before? If you have more information about this, or if you have just applied for your verification after this verification portal was open, please let me know, and let me know if there is any more information. Like I said, should we be happy, or do you think we should continue the fight and holding them accountable to reducing the number of years after qualification, or scrapping the years after qualification? I feel they should scrap it, because, for example, if my husband was already settled in the UK, and I was studying nursing in Nigeria, does that mean after I finish my nursing program in Nigeria and go to join my husband in his country, does that mean I wouldn't be able to work as a nurse or midwife because I chose to change my location due to the love of my life? I think this is not fair at all. Let me know your comments until we meet again in the next video. Bye for now.